This is my Google Nest indoor camera, which I've had for a couple of years and cost me about $100 when I originally purchased it. And this is the COCOCAM C7 indoor camera with battery, which retails for about $40 at the time of this recording. Now, outside of a couple of brands that I'm ecosystem locked into, I'm very brand agnostic. I'm all about getting the best bang for my buck, regardless of what that is, whether that's a product or a software service. So when COCOCAM reached out and asked if I wanted to test out their C7 indoor camera, which is half, if not less than half the price of the comparables from brands like Google and Nest, I was very eager and excited to see what this camera could do. So like my Nest indoor camera, the COCOCAM C7 is an indoor-only security camera that connects via Wi-Fi, and not only does it plug in via USB, but it also has a built-in 5200 milliamp hour battery. These kind of cameras are perfect for home security. I use them personally as a doggy cam when I'm at work, keeping an eye on what my dog's up to, or if my wife and I are traveling, for keeping an eye on our house. But what differentiates the COCOCAM from the Nest camera is that battery. The Google indoor camera, the Nest indoor camera, I don't know what to call it anymore, but the Google Nest indoor camera is plug-in only. So it has to be stationary, I can't move it around. The advantage to the C7 is that once it's charged, its 5200 milliamp hour battery, you can then place it wherever you'd like in your house. So I'm intending to use this as an office camera, again, just an added layer of security when I'm away or traveling. And I can put this anywhere now that I've charged it up. It simply doesn't always need to be stationary and plugged into power to be operational. I've been using the COCOCAM C7 for a couple weeks now, and honestly, the setup process was dead easy. Plugged it in, powered it on, used the COCOCAM app on my iPhone to connect it to the cloud and sync up the device with my COCOCAM account. And within about 5 minutes and a quick software update, we were off to the races and recording and streaming footage from my C7 camera. Now, these two cameras do have a lot of similarities, which is great because, again, the C7 from COCOCAM is literally half, if not less, the price of the comparable Google indoor camera, and it doesn't require a subscription like you do with the Nest service to get playback from days past. With the Google camera, you can only see clips from today, I believe within a 12-hour window, without paying for the subscription. So if you're using it while you're traveling and you miss that 12-hour window to go back and see what was happening, you've lost the clip without paying. It's not a ton of money to get a monthly subscription with the Nest service, but again, COCOCAM is doing it for free. So both cameras have pan and tilt, so you can move at least within the stationary field of view of the camera and see what's going on. Both have motion alerts, both can play sound, two-way sound, and both can recognize both people and animals, and you can set motion zones so you can record and track other things within the field of view of the camera. Now, while the Nest indoor camera is recording at 1080p quality, and here's a sample clip of it, it looks pretty good. COCOCAM have a 3 megapixel sensor in the camera that they say is recording at 2304 by 1296 pixels. And while I think the footage from the Nest is still better looking, the quality coming out of the COCOCAM is very passable, very acceptable for a device this size and this price point. And honestly, I think between the two, you'd be hard pressed to want to go one way or the other, especially when the price delta between the two is so significant. The other great advantage to the COCOCAM is it has internal memory storage capability. So there is an SD card slot on the side here, and you can insert a storage card and you can record right on device. So again, you don't need to be connected to the cloud. You can record right onto the camera locally. Again, a huge win and a huge differentiating factor between the two brands and the two products. Now, while I've yet to run the battery down on the C7 during my testing period, I have been told by COCOCAM that it should detect motion and give you alerts to your device about 5,000 times on a single full charge, which in my experience, having a couple of other battery operated cameras for my front yard and my backyard, I can tell you that that's usually about 2.5 to 3 weeks of regular use. Obviously this camera I'm not going to use when I'm home. I'm only going to power it on when I am leaving for the day or going to work or we're traveling. Otherwise, I would very quickly run down the battery because as I sit here and work for hours and hours on end every day, the alerts would just go and go and go. And that is really the one key area where I wish COCOCAM did a little bit more to make itself comparable to the Google offering. And that's because while the Nest application and the Google product can detect when you are home using your phone to detect your location, COCOCAM doesn't do that. So the Nest automatically turns off alerts when you are home, and then it automatically enables them when you leave. COCOCAM does not have that functionality built into the app, nor does it have it on the hardware. So I have to manually power it off on the side of the device when I am home, and then repower it on when I leave to make sure I'm getting those alerts properly. The other thing that is missing is the ability to turn the camera feed on and off in the app. Again, has to be hardware powered on and off. Google and Nest, you can do that right in the application. Even if you are away, you can still power off the camera. You can't do that here with the COCOCAM. Those are really the two big missing features, and hopefully COCOCAM can push these in, because these are purely software features in my mind that should be able to be incorporated over time. But the biggest differentiator and the biggest win in my experience, in my mind, is still the portability factor that you get with this camera. Having it as an indoor cam, it's easy enough to charge whenever need be, unlike an outdoor camera where you have to go and pull it off the wall or pull it out of its mount to bring it inside and charge up. This camera, because it's always going to be within your household, you can just kind of put it wherever you need. So while again, I'm using it as an office camera, I could easily put this in my living room or in my kitchen. Heck, I could even replace my Nest where it is. That could very easily be a slot in for the COCOCAM C7. Now, the only other thing worth noting for you technophiles out there is that the COCOCAM C7 does only support 2.4 gigahertz wireless connections, where the Nest will do up to 5 gigahertz connections. So if your router limits you to the 5 gigahertz spectrum, this product may not be for you. But all in all, I think the COCOCAM C7 is extremely competitive for its $39.99 Canadian dollar price tag. For 40 bucks, this thing is packing a ton of tech, a ton of capability, and very good audio and video quality. I would definitely recommend that if you have a space that you're looking to secure internally and you want to do it on a budget, that you take a look at the COCOCAM C7. I will link it down below for you to learn more about it and check out for yourself. If, of course, you can get around those couple of limitations, it's an absolute top quality contender and way cheaper to run on a continuing basis and upfront than most of the other competition out there, especially the ones that I'm using from the likes of Google and Nest. But what do you guys think? Let's have a conversation as always down in the comments below. Thank you again to COCOCAM for sending this camera over for me to test out and do this review for you guys. Not paid at all. These are my honest thoughts and opinion, and they don't get to see the video before it goes live, but I do appreciate the free tester nonetheless, so I can stack it up against the products that I already have in my arsenal. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you again soon in the next video.